Hello everyone, Formula Ford here and welcome to today's video where we'll be continuing our last question mark challenge here on the official MotoGP 24 game. In this video we are going to be racing around the Argentinian Grand Prix circuit in Termas de Rio Hondo, which was originally on the 2024 calendar but had to be dropped during the year, and we are going to be racing as Maverick Vinales on the Aprillia Racing Team on the factory bike, and we're going to be doing a 6-lap 25% race as well as a sprint starting from 22nd place in each race, as well as clear conditions, bike damage is on and the penalties are on strict as well. And for the gaming experience we've got adaptive AI on and all the assists are off except for the curve indicators, which just show where to brake and accelerate and use the ride height device. And it's going to be a 3-lap sprint as well as 6 laps in the main race itself.
Welcome back everyone, we are here again for Saturday's main event, the sprint race. The duration is half of tomorrow's race, but the level of competition on the track is the same. The cameras are taking us to the starting grid, where engineers and mechanics are checking the final details before the start.
Right then, so just loading into the main sprint itself, and we're going to put the soft tyre on the front and we're going to put a medium tyre on the rear, as those are the softest compounds we can use on this weekend. We're looking at the front brake disc now. We're going to take the recommended of 340 with a high mass, and we're just going to dump the fuel out as well just to make it a little bit more lighter the bike, because we don't need all that for a 3-lap sprint. And then we're just going to have a look as well at the ECU just to make sure that that's all fine. Normally put 4 on everything for the first time just because it's quite balanced, really quite balanced setup. Sometimes we put a little less traction control because it can feel a little bit restrictive, but normally the others stay at 4. And we're going to do that, and I think we're just getting ready for the start of the sprint.
After clinching another great pole, Martin will start from top spot. A few moments more and we'll see the race.
Right, here we go, waiting for those lights to go out for the Argentinian sprint. We are go, and we get off the line not half decent, not as good as a start as Fernandez on the inside there. We're just going to take it nice and easy into turn 1 here, just try and cut underneath a few of these guys, and then we're into 19th place, make that 18th place at the moment as we come down into turn 2 now, looking for a few more spots up the inside of here. So a bit all over the place, the AI, as Jack Miller comes back up the inside of us, so make that 14th place as we cut underneath Rins and Miller there, and Quartararo is just ahead of us now in 11th place as we come down now into turn 5, try and get the brake in nice done into here as they're all fighting for position again there. We cut at the inside of Brad Binder there, we're going to get a better exit than Bezzecchi. No, we gets a better exit than us, and we sort into 10th place now as we're going around turn 6. We're going to look for the inside move up into here. We're going to try and make a move on Marquez. No, we quite don't into there, but Bezzecchi goes wide, so we should just go right up the inside of him there, and we do. We're already up into the points before the end of the last lap as we're looking for a move around the outside of Alex Marquez there. Not sure how that one's going to work out, but he does get back around us, so we're going to have to look around the outside, maybe switch to the inside here, and we get a better exit than him here, so we just slot him just behind Aleix Espargaro now and we're already up into the points on the first lap, as it is still Jorge Martin, the king of the sprints, in first place from Pedro Acosta and Bagnaia as we cross the line, and we're in 8th place, so we've made a very few amount of positions. I think that's 12 places up into 8th, as we're looking now to have a go at our teammate Alicia Spargo. Get all the brakes nice and early into here. It's a very tricky one to do, because you can always lock the front into here. We're trying to get a good exit out of here, as the AI aren't so good on the straights on this game. So enable the ride height device, and we're going to go down to turn 5 now. We've got a much better exit than Alicia Spargo, and we're going to get into the corner ahead of him. Are we going to possibly go a little bit wide? No, just staying on the racing line just about there as we get into 7th place for this on the middle of lap 2. Are we going to look round for the inside, get on the grass a little bit there in the track limits? We're very lucky to stay on the bike there, as normally it just completely shunts you off the bike. As we look up the inside of Bastianini into turn 8, but it will turn to the outside for turn 9 here. Are we going to make that round? Yes, we do. And noticing the AR are a little bit slow into this corner here. We do move the rear a little bit there, just trying to turn direction on the bike as we get up the inside of Digi into here. And we're just coming into the last corner now in 5th place as we start the final lap. Looking to have a go at the podium here. I don't think it's quite on the cards as we get a tank slapper a little bit on the entry there into that corner, trying to get the bike turned in nice and sharply there. As we're into turn 1 now, and we've got Marc Marquez up next on the Goscini bike. As are we going to look at the inside here? No, we're going to back out, try and get him up the inside here, but it's going to be too tight, so we're going to have a look on the straight. They always go way too quick into this corner, so they don't get a very good exit, although Marc Marquez has got a good exit there. We enabled the right height device, and we should be able to get up the inside of him into here, even though he is on the Ducati. The slipstream is just too good on this game. As we go wide there, Marc Marquez looks up the inside, but we're just going to keep it just around the outside, and it looks like we're going to have to settle for 4th place here. We're just going to miss out on the podium as Bagnaia and Acosta look too far away, and Martin, knowing that he is the king of the sprint, looks like he's going to get the sprint victory into this race today. So we're just coming into the end of the 3rd sector now. Go a bit wide into there as Martin gets a track limits warning. They go a bit wide, Acosta and Bagnaia here. We possibly have something. I think it's too far away for any kind of move, as we're just going to look to settle for 4th place now, as Acosta goes really wide, really wide, but he still gets ahead of Bagnaia, and we're going to cross the line in 4th place, and a good recovery ride from the sprint.
As the riders do their cool-down laps, let's take a look at the final classification of the race we've just seen.
So, the king of the sprint wins again in Jorge Martin on that Pramac Ducati bike. Then Pedro Acosta comes home in 2nd place, just ahead of Paco Bagnaia in 3rd place, as he rounds out the podium in this race. We get 4th place as Maverick Vinales, so not a bad recovery drive in there, as Marc Marquez gets 5th on the Goscini bike, and Fabio Di Gianantonio gets 6th on the Sky VR46 bike. Then we got Enea Bastianini gets 7th place, and then we got Alicia Spargo, our teammate, getting 8th place in this race and 2 points earned, as Alex Marquez gets 9th and the final point in this race. Then we got Marco Bezzecchi just missing out on points in 10th place. Fabio Quartararo gets 11th on the Monster Energy bike. Then we've got Brad Binder in 12th place on the KTM, and then in 13th place we have got Taka Nakagami as the first of the Hondas to round out in this sprint. Then in 14th we have Alex Rins on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Then we got Jack Miller in 15th place. Then it's Franco Morbidelli, a disappointing sprint race for him, in 16th place. Miguel Oliveira finishes in 17th for the Trackhouse team. Johan Zarco gets 18th on that Honda. And then we got Johan Mir, the first of the Repsol Hondas in this race, as Augusto Fernandez gets 20th, Luca Marini gets 21st in this race, and Ralph Fernandez rounds out the 22 on the Trackhouse bike, as we get ready now for the main race.
Welcome to Termas de Rio Hondo, MotoGP fans. We are live from Argentina for the South American round of MotoGP. In a few moments, we'll move to the main straight to watch the start of the MotoGP race. It's been a long weekend, but we finally reached the moment everyone's been waiting for. Just a few more minutes and the race will start. Today is a perfect day for racing. The sun is shining and temperatures are mild. Most of the riders plumping straight for medium tyres at the front and rear.
Alright then, just getting the bike ready now for the main race itself, just getting rid of some of the fuel there just to make sure the bike is nice and light, but it's just about got enough for that. We're going to stick with a high mass front brake, a 344mm, and then we're going to have 4, 4 and 3 for the control electronics there, and we're going to get ready for the main race.
Martin heads from pole position. All of the other riders on the grid breathing down his neck. In a few seconds the lights will go out and the race will begin.
Can Martin make it 2 in a row, or will Pecco Bagnaia or Pedro Acosta have something to do as we look forward to the lights? We are go, and we got a little bit of a wheelie off the start there as Raul Fernandez gets a brilliant start again on that Trackhouse bike as we all filter into turn 1, just looking for an opportunity here. They've all gone a bit wide in all honesty, so it's kind of a bit of a block pass sort of a situation as we're just filtering now in between Miguel Oliveira and Morbidelli as we now filter up to 14th place, I think that is, yeah, but then we lose a few spots as we come into here because we try and get a good exit, and we're already up into 12th place, getting past Quartararo before the next turn of turn 5, as we've already got past Aleix Espargaro now as we get brake nice and easy into turn 5 here, as we're already into the top 10, getting stuck a little bit on Brad Binder there, and that's going to allow Jack Miller to get back past. We're given the room as we look around for the outside there, and just going into turn 7 now. He's still got the inside line, but we just about have enough traction to get on with it as we are now into 9th place at the same point as where we were for the sprint, as we go right round the outside there of Marquez. I certainly wasn't expecting that when I stepped on the brakes, but they do look a little bit slow into this corner here, as Jorge Martin has already lost 5 places off the start. He was on pole for this race, but now it is a Ducati 1-2, as he was a bit slow on the apex there and we looked for something, but he kind of just pushed us to the outside there as we now get into lap 2 of this race. Are we going to be able to get something on Jorge Martin into these couple of corners? He's very, very good on the brakes and on the traction in this game, especially with this Prima Pramac team. As we're now into turn 2, we're looking to get a good exit out of here, as they are very, very quick into this corner, and we enable the ride height device, and we're going to make any overtakes as we come into turn 5. It looks a little bit like we're too far back, but we do get nicely on the brakes. We probably go a bit too far as we're going round the outside of Jorge Martin. Unbelievable! We've gone round the outside of Jorge Martin. I certainly wasn't expecting that when we come into turn 5, but now we're into turn 6, looking at the inside of Bezzecchi. That's more of a normal move into this corner, but he outbrakes us on the outside. As he broke too late? No, he's broke pretty much right on time, but we're going to slip up the inside into there, and we are now into 5th place, as we're going to be able to do something on Pedro Acosta. No, he brakes quite well into that corner, as he is very, very good on the brakes, Pedro Acosta, even in his rookie season, as we go a bit wide into turn 11 there. We're looking for a move on Pedro Acosta to get P4 in this race. As we're looking up the inside now, is he going to give us some room into the last turn of turn 13 here? Yes, he does. He does go quite respectful into here. We go a bit wide on the exit there, but nothing doing for Pedro Acosta on exit there as we filter into 4th place at the end of lap 2, now on to lap 3, as it is now 3 Ducatis for the podium. We've got Pecco Bagnaia, who is already kind of bolted from the 2nd place on the grid in this race, as we're looking for a move on Digi now. We're going to get a good exit out of here. He gets on the curve a bit, so not a great exit from Digi, but he has the power on that Ducati bike. But we have the straight line speed on this MotoGP 24 game. We've really got to sort this out for the MotoGP 25 game, because there's no way Aprilia should just be getting a Ducati on pure speed there. But we now filter into 3rd place, and we're now on the podium from 22nd in this race. We could possibly get Bastianini in this race, but I think it's a long shot with Pecco Bagnaia. As soon as he gets in his rhythm and he gets a gap, he is normally unstoppable in these races. As we are coming into the end of the 3rd sector now, we've gained on Bastianini quite a bit here, as they're not very good in this last sector for whatever reason, and we seem to be getting really dominant in the sector 4 of this, as we now get nice on the anchors there into there, and we're just about 3 tenths behind Bastianini now coming into here. We get a good exit out of that turn as we enable the ride height device. So we're going to be able to do something at the, inside the turn 1 here. No, we're just going to have to filter in, but he goes wide on exit. We're going to be able to cut up the inside of him. We do barge him off a little bit there, but there was no contact made, so it is a clean move after all, as we go nice and easy into this turn. And yeah, it looks like we might have to settle for 2nd place in this race with 2 laps to go in here, and Pecco Bagnaia is 2.4 seconds up the road already, so yeah, it looks like we're settling for 2nd place in this. Nice onto the brakes into here, and we are got the fastest lap in this race with a 1:36.999 in this race, and we'll be looking to beat that. We'll try and have a go at Pecco Bagnaia. We're obviously going to have a go at Pecco Bagnaia, but it is a long shot. We're being nearly 3 seconds down on him coming into what would be lap 5 of this 6 lap race. As we come into our favourite section now, we might be able to get a couple of tenths on Bagnaia, as he gets a warning there for track limits, so he's obviously feeling some kind of pressure, as we've got it down to 2 seconds now from what was like 2.7, 2.6 seconds, but he's always quite good on the brakes, is Pecco Bagnaia, and he's got a very good exit out of there. Puts it back out to 2.2 as we cross the line, as we fit a 1:37.8 in this race, and we still got the fastest lap at the moment. Pecco Bagnaia is 2 seconds ahead, but we don't get a great exit out of that corner. He just seems to get a good exit and a good entry speed, as Pecco Bagnaia. That Ducati is just something else when it really hooks up together. As we come into turn 3 now, get a very good exit, enable the ride height device into here, and are we going to be able to gain anything on the straight? We've got it down to 1.8 seconds at the moment, but are we going to get anything on the anchors into here? Just a tiny bit shallow onto that as we get up on the curve there. Yeah, it's stretched back out to 2 seconds again, so yeah, that's like a long shot as we're coming down now into turn 7, and it's still 2 seconds, 1.7 seconds on the exit there, but is he just not a great exit into here. This is our favourite section of the track though, and we're going to be able to gain some time as we'll head on to that last lap in a minute. Coming in through turn 11 now, the gap is now 1.1 seconds. We're definitely going to have a race in the last lap, but is Pecco Bagnaia just saving something as he goes wide. He goes really wide in turn 13 there, but he somehow gets a really good exit still, and it is definitely on as we go into the last lap. We do a 1:36.648 on that last lap, as Pecco Bagnaia is kind of feeling the pressure here, I think, as we're within 1 second of him. Are we going to be able to do something on this straight? We'll go nice and easy into turn 2 there. We don't want to lose the front, not now, when we've got a good position of seconds after starting in 22nd in this race. Are we going to be able to do something on this straight? We shouldn't do, because of how much the Ducati's got good straight line speed, but we are gaining. It is around 4/10 of a second as we're coming into here now, getting nicely onto the anchors here. Break at the same sort of point here, but we do gain on Bagnaia as he looks behind now as we're coming into turn 6, wondering where we are on the track. Are we going to be able to do something into turn 7 here, as Pecco Bagnaia goes a bit shallow there, so we're going to be able to sneak up the inside here. He goes really slow, but we make contact, and I kind of had to pick up the bike there and just sort of go off the acceleration, as I did not want to lose the front. But there has been contact in this race between us and Pecco Bagnaia, but he goes really shallow onto this last corner here. And are we going to be able to do something? But we are on the wrong side. Are we going to try and have to sneak up the inside somehow as we go for it on the last lap at the last corner? And we get Pecco Bagnaia into the last corner of the last lap. Is he going to sneak on the inside? No, we win it on the line.
A long race weekend comes to a close with the end of the MotoGP race. Let's have a look at the race results, and then we'll see you in a moment for the podium ceremony.
Wow, so that was one hell of a Grand Prix from us. We do win the race as Maverick Vinales on the Aprilia team, and that was an unbelievable overtake at the end. We had to go from the outside to the inside and cut back on Pecco Bagnaia, but we had to go for it as it was the last lap, nearly the last corner. So we win from Pecco Bagnaia, who was 74 milliseconds behind us. He nearly got us there, in all honesty, because we did lose the front end at middle part of that corner. So Pecco Bagnaia does get second place, and then Enea Bastianini is in third place, rounding out the podium as two Ducatis get on the podium. Then we've got Fabio Di Gianantonio on the Sky VR46 bike, with Pedro Acosta getting 5th place for the Gas team. Marco Bezzecchi does well and gets 6th place for the VR46 team, ahead of Marc Marquez in that race, who gets 7th place. Jack Miller gets 8th for the KTM team, and Aleix Espargaro, our teammate for this race, comes home in 9th place. Then we've got Alex Marquez coming home in 10th place for the Gresini team. Jorge Martin, who originally did start on pole position in both the sprint and in the race, comes home in only 11th after dropping down to 6th on the opening lap of this race, and he only just went down from there. So it's definitely not the result that Jorge Martin was looking for in this race. Then it comes Brad Binder on the factory KTM team. Then we've got in 13th place as we go down there now. We should just do it in any second. Luca Marini comes in 13th place as the first of the Hondas on there. So that is a pretty good race considering that he's normally towards the back in this. Then we've got Alex Rins coming home in 14th place, getting a couple of points for the Yamaha team in this race. Then in 15th place for the last of the points, we've got Johan Zarco for the Castrol team, and he gets the last point. Quartararo just missing out on points in this race in 16th place, unfortunately. Then we've got Miguel Oliveira in 17th place for the Trackhouse team. 18th place comes Augusto Fernandez on the Gas team. Then in 19th place we have Raul Fernandez on the Trackhouse Aprilia team. In 20th place we have Franco Morbidelli, another disappointing result here for the Prima Pramac team, as both their riders clearly out of the top 10. Then we got Johan Mir coming home in 21st place in this race. Then we got Taka Nakagami rounding out the 22. And then we will just go to the podium celebrations.
We're heading to the Parc Fermé with the live coverage where the 3 podium finishers have just arrived. The winner is over the moon, and quite rightly indulging in a few celebrations with his team. Here are the top three up on the podium. These riders put in a great performance today. It's been a real pleasure to watch them do battle.
And that, everyone, is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching today. If you have enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a like. If you are new around here, then do get subscribed for more motorsport content like this. I have been Formula Ford, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you?